Thank you so much for watching this video on how to use your guided math digital rotation board. So as you can see, I chose the 4 groups with 15 minutes in each group. Again, this has to be displayed on a smart board or some type of LED display or some type of display that's connected to your computer. So what you're going to do is I actually chose the 4 groups with 15 minutes in each group because I usually have 4 guided math rotations. So the first thing you're going to do is pick which rotation you want based on how many groups you have. So I usually have 4 groups, and usually my groups are 15 minutes each group, so that's why I chose this one. So what you're going to do is you're all going to go all the way down to the end of the PowerPoint, and there are 4 pages here of the different rotations that you have available to you. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to decide what my 4 rotations are going to be. One rotation for my class is teacher feature. The next rotation is going to be, I call it Workbook Nook, but I gave you lots of different choices. And Workbook Nook is the independent workstation. The next station is going to be Math Stations, and I call those Elation Stations right here. This is the one that I use, but again, I gave you all different options: Station Time, Station Fun, Math Mania, but I use Elation Station. So that's Teacher Feature, Elation Station, Workbook Nook, and then I either do math journals right here, or I also do fact fluency. So I can decide which one that I want to do, but I've given you lots of other options as well, like Game Time, Partner Play, Math Fun, Hands-on Math, Math Mania. So you can decide what your other station is going to be, and I just gave you lots of different options. I also gave you Tech Time and iPads. So you decide which ones you're going to choose. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to the small group rotation, and I'm going to click this teacher feature circle. And as you can see, a box goes around it. Now I'm going to right click and I'm going to press copy right here because I'm copying this circle. Now I'm going to go up to my first round, and I'm going to click anywhere on the board, and I'm going to right click again, and I'm going to click paste. And as you can see, my teacher feature showed up. So now I'm going to go get the other 3. So I'm going to take Workbook Nook, and I'm going to click it, right click, copy, go back up to the page. I'm going to click, right click, paste. There's my Workbook Nook. I'm going to go back down, and I am going to get my math stations. We call those Elation Stations. So I'm going to click it, and then I'm going to right click, copy, and then I'm going to go back up here, and I'm going to click it, go back to the right page, and then I'm going to right click, and I'm going to paste, and there's my Elation Station. And then the last one I need is either math journals or fact fluency, whatever it is that I'm going to use. I'm just going to use math journals. So I click it, right click, copy, go back to the first page, and then I'm going to click and right click, paste. So now, as you can see, I have my 4 different stations here on the page. Now, what you need to do is you need to match these rotations with your groups. Now, if you have 4 groups, you're going to name them the yellow group, the green group, the blue group, and the pink group. Now, if for some reason your class has a different color group, it's really super simple to change these colors out. If I just click this yellow circle, I can go up here to shape fill if I wanted to, and I can color it any color I want. So if you want specific colors here, you absolutely can change the colors of these circles. Super easy. Click it, shape fill, and then you can fill it with any color you want. So it's totally up to you with the color that you choose. But I just gave you some basics to start with. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to decide. Now, my yellow group is my strategic intervention group. They're my lowest learners. They always start at teacher feature first, always. So I'm going to put it here so they can see that the yellow group right here in round 1 goes to teacher feature first, because this is round 1. Now in round 1, my 2 on-level groups, which happens to be my green group and my blue group, which are my on-level groups, will go to, let's say, my advanced group always goes to Workbook Nook first in the first round. So I'm going to just put them there because they are always starting Workbook Nook first because they're my advanced group. And then I could put my green group at Elation Stations and my blue group at Math Journals. So I just organized that. Now we have to go down to round 2. But instead of doing all that copying and pasting over again, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to click Teacher Feature, and then I'm going to hold the Shift button down on my keyboard and click Elation Stations. Notice now both of those are selected. Now Math Journals, and now Workbook Nook. Notice I was holding Shift down the whole time. Now all 4 are selected. Now I'm going to right click and I'm going to press Copy. Now it just copied all 4 of those little stations. Now I'm going to go to round 2 and I'm going to right click and I'm going to paste. And there they are. Now they pasted in the exact same spot. Now, I don't want to do that for round 2. So what I want to do is I want to show where each person is going to go. Now, since my first group, my yellow group goes to Teacher Feature first, that means in round 2, they're going to go to Workbook Nook. So in round 2, they're going to go to Workbook Nook, okay? Now, the other groups, my advanced group, so if I have the green group at Elation Stations first, they're going to go to Math Journals. So green group went to Math Journals. My pink group went to Workbook Nook. And my green group went to Elation Stations. My blue group went to Math Journals. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to switch it around again. So my green group is going to go to Math Journals. My pink group is going to go to Elation Stations, and my blue group will go to Teacher Feature. So that's round 2. So now I'm going to go to round 3, and look if I right click and paste again, they actually show up again, which is great. So now I just click out so I don't have any of them clicked, and now Teacher Feature is going to be, and as you can see, Teacher Feature was yellow in round 1, and then blue in round 2. So now I'm going to make Teacher Feature green. So I'm going to bring Teacher Feature to green. I'm going to bring Elation Stations. Let's see. So Elation Stations have been in green and have been in pink. So now I'm going to put Elation Stations in blue. So I'm going to move my Elation Station to blue. And then I'm going to do Workbook Nook. So whoever went to Teacher Feature second, so in round 2, Teacher Feature was blue. That means they have to go to Workbook Nook next, because right after Teacher Feature, they go to Workbook Nook. So let me move this down. I'm going to make blue go to Workbook Nook. I'm going to make yellow go to Elation Stations. And I'll make pink go to Math Journals. So now because green goes to Teacher Feature in round 3, in round 4, they're going to go to independent work. So I'm going to right click again and paste, and they show up. So I'm just going to unclick, and I'm just going to move them all out of the way. So again, if I met with the green group for Teacher Feature, that means they go to Workbook Nook. So Workbook Nook, my last group was my pink group. That was my advanced group. So they get their lesson last. So they go to Teacher Feature, and then Math Journals will go to yellow will go to Math Journals, and then blue will go to Elation Stations. So now for each round in the round, they are going to a different station for each round. But remember, let's look back up here in round 1. So if yellow went to Teacher Feature first, in round 2 they need to go to Workbook Nook. Okay, and in round 2, blue was Teacher Feature, so that means in round 3 they go to Workbook Nook. Okay, so that's very, very important. In round 4, pink goes to Teacher Feature. So remember, back in round 1, they do Workbook Nook. Remember, because they are my advanced group, so they're capable of doing the Workbook Nook independent activity the day after their lesson. That's why my advanced group always goes to Workbook Nook first, because they're advanced and they can handle doing the activity, the independent activity, based on the lesson from the day prior. So that is how I organize my digital stations. Now, when it's time to start the rotations, I'm going to go up to round 1, and I'm going to click up here where it says slideshow. I'm going to click that, and then I'm going to click play from current slide. And if I click that, it beeps, and as you can see, it goes to a whole, it covers my entire board. Now what's happening in the background that you don't see is it's counting down from 15. And when it gets to 15, let's make believe 15-minute passed, this is what will happen. I'm just going to forward it myself. Now the doorbell rang, and oops, the doorbell rang, and now this is actually going to stay up for 1 minute because this is your transition period. So in this 1 minute transition period, your students are cleaning up their materials, they are putting them away neatly, and then they're transitioning off to their next station. So if I leave this going on right now, in 1 minute, it will actually transfer to the next slide. So what I want to do is I actually want to stick with you so you can actually see it transfer over to the next slide. So I'm just going to keep talking to you for a minute until it transitions. And when the 1 minute is up, the doorbell will ring again, and it will transition to round 2. And then in round 2, 15 minutes starts up again. So we probably have another maybe 20 seconds, maybe a little bit more, and then it's counting down, and it will transition. The doorbell will ring, and it will transition to round 2 and give you an additional 15 minutes. So at this point, all of the children are now rotating to their next station. And when it comes up and the transition changes, they'll see what station they're going to go to next. So let's just wait a second for this to transition to the next slide. Should happen in 1 minute. And then the children will be able to look at the different colored circles to figure out where they're going to go in round 2. Now, as the year progresses, they're going to know where they're going to go in round 2 because it stays the same each day. So it will transition to round 2, as you can see. And now here are round 2 transitions. This will count down for 15 minutes, and then it will transition again. And then it will go to round 3. It will spend 15 minutes, and then I'm just forcing it to go. There's another transition page, and then of course it goes to round 4, and this will count down for 15 minutes, and then it will give you the doorbell, and this is the last slide. So that's exactly how this rotation works. Now, if for some reason you need to change the timing for either the round or the transition period, I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So what you do is, let's say, for example, you want to change this to 18 minutes, okay? Because I only gave you 15 and 20 minute time options. Let's say you want to change this to 18 minutes. You're going to go to up here at the top, and you're going to go to transitions. And as you can see, if you look over here, there's a little checkbox that says after, and it says 15, which means 15 minutes. So if I want to change that to 18, all I have to do is go click there and put an 8 there to make it 18. But then don't forget to apply it to each of the other rounds, okay? Don't apply it to the transition round because you only want 1 minute in the transition round, okay? So I'm going to change this back to 15 so we have it, but I just wanted to show you how easy it is to change this timing for each of your rotations. So it's super simple to organize your digital rotations. And again, you just have to go to slideshow and then play from current slide, and that's it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So I hope this little tutorial was helpful to get you going with your digital rotation board in your classroom for guided math. Enjoy. Thanks so much.